Josh Hines.
Hey, man. How's it going, Nigel?
How's it going? So, can we tell everybody where we are?
We're here at the lovely Tack Room Tavern down here in Indio, down at the Polo Grounds. This is where we do the Concert for Autism.
Why this place? I mean, it's almost a given of why you do it here because it's so beautiful and, you know, the staff and everything, but what made you want to come here?
It was all those things, the space specifically. You know, we're doing our 12th one. We had done it at several different places over the years. And really the person that encouraged me to come down here was Jeff Mazer, who's in Long Duck Dong, and he does sound over Big Rock. And when we kept growing, he said, hey, you know, Long Duck Dong plays down at the Tack Room, and it's beautiful, you know, it's open, wide open, so much space. And we came down here and talked to Julie, and she's super nice, super great for us. And it works out. It's got such a spread out patio to where we can have the main stage, and then we can have around the corner the acoustic stage, and then we can have a whole row of tables for silent auction and raffle items. And it really is kind of the perfect spot for us.
And tons of parking. I mean, right behind us there is like stadium parking. It looks
yes,
like.
Exactly. I mean, because, you know, with all these bands, it's going to be that crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be great. No, it really is. I mean, my band performed last year. And thank you for that.
Thank you guys, man. You were fantastic. It was awesome.
That was really fun.
Yeah, thank you.
It was really cool and nice to see it happening in Indio and you know, you're representing the Valley, not just, you know, you have the autism that benefit, but you're also doing, you know, other things. What else are you doing? So we're obviously going to get to that. That's why we're talking. But let's talk about the man Josh real quick.
What am I doing?
Music, recording an album every Wednesday.
Yeah. I'm in Blasting Echo, and we are in the midst of recording. It's taken a while because we can only record like once or twice a week, but our schedules are kind of crazy. My wife and I, Linda, who plays in Blasting Echo with me, we have 4 kids, and then I have a day job, and then I'm doing this benefit, so it's kind of crazy. So doing that, and then obviously I'm in Fittown with Linda as well. So 2 bands.
And at one point you were still, I mean, you kind of still are, but you were hosting open mic, and I was the engineer for that. So we've had an ongoing relationship for a while.
Yeah, and I love it. I love open mics. I've said it repeatedly. When I was young in Memphis growing up, that's how I cut my teeth, how I got over my nerves, how I worked out songs, how I met people, and it was a great thing. And then when I moved here to the Valley, to the Coachella Valley, I started doing open mics as much as I could. And that's how I met a lot of people. And I think they're great. They're a great place for the musicians to learn, to grow, to experience being on stage. And they're great for the music scene because you meet new people, you see somebody and you're like, wow, that was a great song, you know, and then you become friends with these people. And I've used it over the years for the benefit because I meet people at open mics and I'm like, that person's good, I'm going to put them on the acoustic stage this year, you know. So I love that you and Brad and the Hood support the open mic. I know I haven't been there in a while because I've been busy.
Spirit, we all know.
But I really appreciate what you guys do.
Yeah, going back to, you know, all that, it's pretty crazy to see. You know, you got Daniel doing Ghost, you got people doing poetry, you got, you know, there's so much random things going on now. It's like dominated by comedy.
Yeah, which is great.
Which is great, but I'm almost thinking to expand it because it's, you know, there's less musicians and I noticed that the hosts are kind of like, well, here we go, an hour comedy, but nonetheless, people are supporting, and that's what it's about.
I mean, that is what it's about, and comedy should always be included. Spoken word, poetry, any of that stuff. That's what an open mic is.
It's an open mic.
It's an open mic, and there might be certain open mics where people are like, it's music only. That's fine, but I like, you know, just like if you and I are musicians and we like to play, there's somebody that likes to tell jokes. There's somebody that likes to read their soul, their poetry.
Whatever their canvas may be, that's what it is. Yeah.
Exactly. Support art. You know, that's what the open mic should be about.
And diversity and all that, yeah.
Exactly.
It's not one certain type of place.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the autism. This is the 12th year?
Yeah.
12th year here?
No, 12th year overall.
Where was your first look? Schmitty's?
No.
No?
No, the first 3 years were at the Red Barn.
Red Barn. So let's hear the progression.
All right, let's hear the progression. So the first 3 years were at the Red Barn, and it really started out as just like, at that time I was in a band called Dufresne, and the very first year. And I just wanted to do, the idea was, let's just go play a show. I had seen other benefits happen. It's like, let's just take a night. We'll play. We'll get 4 bands. We'll take money at the door. We'll get the money from the bar that pays the performers. And then we'll pass around buckets. And let's just give it to a charity that helps kids with autism.
That's awesome.
And that happened the first year. And then Dufresne broke up. And then Blasting Echo started. And when Blasting Echo started, every member, the 3 of us, we all had kids with autism. And they were like, we got to keep this thing going. And I was like, okay. And then we did it 2 more years at the Red Barn. And at that point, it kept getting bigger and bigger. And Mark Gentry, who played in the Pedestrians and plays in Mighty Jack, he came to me and was like, you know what? You should go bigger. You should go to the IPAC down in Indio. It's got this massive room. And we went and talked to David, the director at the time, and he was all for it. And what was great about that was that at that point, when we had all that room, Linda, my wife, was like, you know, we should add a silent auction and raffles to the program. And then I was like, well, now we got so much room, let's add another stage, and we'll do some acoustic people. And now all of a sudden we're starting to get more performers. And all that starts to generate more proceeds. You know, you get more people, more bands there, more performers, more people come out. You get the silent auction raffle, you're raising more money, and, you know, you're helping kids. So we did it at the IPAC 2 years, and then we did it at the Hood, the 6th year. And that was, they had done a benefit for Mike Riley, who was sick. He's a guy in the music community.
Mike Riley's the most respected audio engineer in the desert.
He is.
He's, I learned a lot from him, but
yeah.
Just want to shout out to Mike Riley.
Yes, shout out to Mike, because Mike not only is a great engineer, but he's a great human being.
Even better person.
Yeah. And so they had done that, and when we saw that they had done that, we were like, maybe we could do that. And Brandon at the time was booking at the Hood, and he was like, hey, I got an idea. We'll get the permits, we'll block off the parking lot, we'll build the stage, and on Friday night, we'll have the Adolescents come out. So the Adolescents played on Friday, and then we got to use all the gear and equipment because it was donated for Saturday.
Backline.
Yeah. You know, all the stage, all the lights, everything that was built. And that was great. All the companies donated. They made their dollar on Friday, and then they donated Saturday, and it was fantastic. So we did it there, and then after that, I met Dennis and Kathy at Schmitty's, and I love those guys. They were so supportive of the scene, and they wanted to do it, and I was like, I would love to do it at your place. So we did it there 2 years, and at that point, unfortunately, they had to shut down. The truth is, folks, the landlord raised their rent, and it was BS.
Now it's a restaurant.
But anyway, Dennis and Kathy were great. We did it there 2 years, and that's when Jeff Mazer and Greg Little started doing sound at Schmitty's for me, and they're great friends of mine and so knowledgeable and great soundmen. And that's when Jeff said, we should go to the tack room. And then I met Julie down here at the tack room, and the rest is history.
So what was the first year at the tack room?
7 and 8, so it's the ninth one. So we are now at the 4th year here at the tack room.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's, again, you couldn't ask for a better spot. I mean, if we get bigger and we have to go somewhere bigger, that's great.
Well, I mean, in a sense, you kind of already are doing that because you have it here, and then you we're doing the Hood, like another kind of event where we're trying to raise money too.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can kind of expand on the brand, if you will. But this is this is such an amazing place,
isn't it? Yeah, and that's I'm glad you brought that up. This year, you know, every year I have so many bands that want to play, and I can't have them all. And so last year, Brad, the owner of the Hood, had said, hey, I'd love to partner up with the benefit. And he even did an event during the benefit last year where he passed around a bucket and gave us some money, you know, and that was so fantastic. No other owner of any other bar has ever done that. And so when I had all these bands wanting to play this year, I was like, you know what, I'm going to talk to Brad and say, can we do a pre-party? And then at the same time, the guys from CV Brewery, Wesley Gainey from Right On, and Ben Crossan, they were like, we want to participate too. And they always do an acoustic thing on Sundays. And they said, can we do an acoustic thing the Sunday before the benefit, and we'll just pass around buckets.
Yeah.
and that's just giving, and that's so great. And so yeah, we've expanded on it this year, and I really appreciate CV Brewery and the Hood for doing that, for wanting to be a part and have a night and have an event where whatever money we can raise, it's still going to help the kids with autism.
We have such an amazing community, and anywhere else, I mean, I've lived in other places, but most of my life has been in the desert, and I've never seen a sense of community like the desert has. I mean, what other place would be like, want to cross-pollinate? Most people are just worried about their own business and, cutthroat, but it's like share the wealth, and we all support. I mean, the scene is small but big at the same time.
Exactly. I think that is the most unique thing about our scene, is how predominantly people want to support each other. And I grew up in Memphis, and I was really young in the Memphis scene, and I didn't go out like I go out here and go to a lot of shows. It's a lot bigger city. So yeah, I was friends with bands, and I would go see bands, but the cross-pollination didn't necessarily always happen. You kind of had segments of the city where punk rock was here, and
you might not even want to be involved in those venues. Yeah. I mean, who knows? But again, the Hood Bar, it's welcoming to everybody. This place, I'm sure, is nothing different.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah, it is great. It's one of the things that we are fortunate to have, is that type of community where people want to give, and they're not concerned about, well, you're doing something at this other place.
I notice you have quite a lot of sponsors. I don't know how much they're involved or what they know. You were saying one thing, Luxtone. Is it?
Yeah, I just found out today. Luxtone Amplifiers, Nick, who lives out here in Palm Springs, last year he built an amp for the benefit.
A beautiful tube amp.
Yes, a beautiful, nice tube amp. And the most touching thing was that a group of musicians that were here at the benefit last year, they all bid in the silent auction, and they bought it for me.
Wow.
I was crying on stage when I found that out. I didn't know. It was literally at the very end, the last night, right before we finished up the show. And so I've been to Nick's house talking, I want him to build a cabinet for me. He built my wife an amp, but he has not said one word to me about building another amp for the benefit. And then all of a sudden, literally right before we started taping, I find out Nick's like building an amp. And so that's awesome, Nick. Thank you.
That adds to the story right here, man. Like in real time,
somebody is giving.
You.
Yeah.
What other guys? I mean, what a nice person.
Yeah.
Because it takes time. We gotta wire it up. You gotta tube it up.
Yeah.
You gotta Tolex it out.
Yeah. Right.
And it's not easy.
No.
Dovetail. I don't know what he does, but I'm sure he does really great work.
Yeah, he does. He does fantastic work. He builds amps. Like I know Robbie from Waxy has some of his amps.
Yeah, he either mods them or builds them from scratch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Robbie knows his amp, so.
Yeah, Robbie's got a few amps.
Yeah, he's got if you ever go to Robbie's place, I mean, I would spend a lot of time there. It was like a museum.
Yes, it is.
There's like, what's this? Oh, I don't even know what it is. Let's pop the case.
Yeah, let's open it up and see
it's
what
a
it sounds
beautiful
like.
1960s something or other, and it's like, this thing's worth $10,000.
Yeah, right.
But Robbie's the man, and he's a big supporter too. Is he involved? I don't know.
No, unfortunately, Waxy's going to be on the road. They're going to be in Europe.
That's right.
So
because they just recorded their album.
Yeah. We had talked about them playing, and then I found out they were going to Europe, and it was like, okay, well, kudos to them. Go to Europe, have a good time.
Of course, yeah. I know Robbie very well, and going to Europe is everything for him. So I'm sure that would be the same thing for you and I as musicians.
Yeah.
Just to hop over the pond and
I would love that. I don't know if I'll ever get the chance, but I would love the chance.
You never know.
Yep. But you talked about sponsors, and I want to give some praise to the sponsors. Always CV Weekly, Tracy and Phil. They've supported the music scene. I met Tracy a long time ago when I moved out here, and she has been supporting the scene way back before the paper. She's so great. CV Weekly, and then their sister publication, CV Kids, and then you get sound and lights and stuff donated by AVSU. Rob Van Buren's going to donate some equipment. Let me think. Oh gosh,
Guitar Center.
Hopefully, they're telling me that I'm going to get something from them.
Ernie Ball
already got. So Adam Gainey works down there from Right On, Wesley's brother.
Yep.
And they give me some nice stuff.
I remember, it seems like it was not even that long ago, but now it's been at least a year, obviously. But I remember you had a post, and you kind of had everything laid out from what they gave you, the Ernie Ball, and it's heavy, man.
Yeah,
That's great.
In fact, I told myself at the 1 month mark, start doing a post every day of stuff you've gotten. But I've been so busy I haven't started, and the 1 month mark was yesterday. But yeah, I'll do that. I'll lay out all the Ernie Ball stuff. But other sponsors, Circulation Media, Zach Kupcha, who did a promotional video for the benefit. He was fantastic. Donated his time. Panoptic Works is my buddy Nick, who does all of our website, and he donates all that. I got to give a shout out to, obviously, Marcus, Johnny Sugarbritches, because
he's all around badass.
The all around badass that coordinates stuff and helps us set up stuff and helps us get stuff. He's just a great guy. Impression Design, they are our t-shirt sponsor. They print up 75 t-shirts for the benefit, all at no cost. I mean, that's a lot of money, and then we get to sell them, and all that money goes to the benefit. So I know I'm forgetting somebody, but let me say this. The benefit, what we do, all the money goes to the Desert Autism Foundation. So let me talk about them for a second.
Of course.
Desert Autism Foundation was started by a guy named Randy Cordy, who used to own the Lumpy's golf stores. He has a son with autism, and his son took piano from Linda. And he set up this foundation so that kids that are on the autism spectrum can get vital therapies they need at a lower cost. So in other words, speech therapy, occupational therapy, music therapy, these are all so important. So a child with autism needs speech therapy. Normally it would cost this is off the top of my head, like $100.
For a session?
For a session. He underwrites $80 of that. So the parents only have to pay a $20 copay. So now the child can go more often, and they get more therapy, which is so vital. And having a son and a stepson with autism, I recognize how vital that is. And I'm happy that we put on all this stuff, and we have that foundation, the Desert Autism Foundation, and they use that money to help those kids. It means a lot to me.
Oh, it means everything, yeah. And it's such a big deal. I mean, I don't want to shine a light from what you're doing, but are there any other spots in the desert that are doing anything charitable towards autism?
Yeah, there are. I mean, there are different events. Like Randy does a golf tournament. He does partnerships with like restaurants where they'll do wine tastings, and
so he's very much involved. He's like the guy that's really pushing.
Yeah, I mean, it's his foundation, so he does other little events, and then we do our thing. Yeah. So, and there are other organizations like Coachella Valley Autism Society, and they partner up with us as well. They come out to the benefit, and they set up a table, and it has all sorts of games and activities for kids not on the spectrum and for kids on the spectrum. That's one of the great things about, we were talking about the tack room earlier.
Yeah.
It's so spread out that even though we've got music going, it is not super loud, and it's all ages till 10. And it gives an opportunity for families that have kids on the spectrum to bring their kids to a music event. And normally, you can't bring kids to the hood. Yeah. You can't bring kids to this, music's really loud. And some kids with autism, they can't handle that. It's too loud, or it's too much commotion, overstimulus. But here we have it spread out, and Savassa provides a table with activities. And that's another important thing that Linda and I love about doing it here, is that kids with autism get to come out to a music show, a rock and roll show, and that's really
inspiring.
special.
It's inspiring.
Yeah.
It's just, this is a night for everybody to rejoice. It's great.
Right?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So Savassa does a lot of stuff. They're a good source. If you're a parent and you just found out, you just got a diagnosis that your child has autism, please contact both organizations, Desert Autism Foundation and Coachella Valley Autism Society. That, especially the society, that gives you a chance to meet other parents and learn about things that could help your child. So, great organizations. Desert Arc, they have a program for kids on the autism spectrum, that are young adults and older. Once your kid gets older, Desert Arc will help give programs for the older kids on the spectrum. So those are some more organizations you can contact. So
yeah. Well, who designed the shirt? Because it's a very iconic image at this point. I recognize that from a mile away. That's you on the guitar right there, right?
Yeah. I do all the designing. which I'm not really that good at it. I'm really lame at Photoshop. But I do it all, and I need to farm it out because it's overwhelming. But yeah, this shot, actually Laura Little, Greg Little's wife, takes photos every year of the benefit, all the bands playing and all the activities. And she caught me in midair last year. And once I saw that shot, I was like, I'm using that. And so I just whited it out and put it on top of the puzzle pieces.
I think it's really cool, Josh.
Thank
I think
you,
it's
man.
really awesome what you're doing. And not only are you doing this for the community, but you're also supporting the open micers, and you're a staple in the community.
Well, thank you,
for
man.
sure. Without it's definite. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
The bottom line is I love music. It's my passion. It has helped me through so many times in my life. Before I had a son with autism, and then certainly after. Linda and I play in 2 bands, so each week we have 2 rehearsals. But it helps us. It helps us be able to deal with the stress of having a child.
Music is a release.
Exactly.
I got my, I play bass, and that's what I've been doing since I was, yay high. So, it's one of those things where, it's a switch.
Yeah.
At least with me, you pick up a guitar, you jam with your drummer. All right, then
all of a sudden you feel better.
Everything's forgotten. Oh, this is why this is what makes me feel good.
Yeah. If you're listening to the High Desert podcast for the first time and you didn't know, Nigel is a fantastic bass player in a fantastic band called Slipping Into Darkness. Check them out. They played the benefit last year. They were fantastic. Give the guy props. Give the band props. They're one of the best bands out here, but they don't play enough. But that's a conversation for later.
But we'll make it happen, Josh.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sitting down. I know you got to get out of here.
Thank you so much for doing this, for having me.
Oh, this is awesome, and what a beautiful place. I wish everybody can see where we are, but where can they come? What's the address? What's the coordinates?
I don't know the address off the top of my head, but I will tell you this. Concert for Autism, October 18th and 19th, right here at the Tack Room Tavern. Satellite events happening before on Sunday the 13th, acoustic afternoon at CV Brewery. There's going to be like 7 of us playing acoustic. On Wednesday the 16th, open mic at the Hood. Matthew Claiborne's your host, and that will be an open mic for the Concert for Autism, so we're going to take donations for the cause. Then the next night, the 17th at the Hood, pre-party with 6 bands: Ormus, Afterlashes, Instigator, Plastic Ruby. God, John Merrick's fantastic. Hover, they're fantastic. And Desert Roots, that's on Thursday. And then the concert happens here at the Tack Room down in Indio by the Polo Fields. 24 bands and artists performing over 2 nights, 1 main stage, 1 acoustic stage. John Garcia is the headliner on Saturday. Blasting Echo, Fifth Town, Giselle Wu, Blackwater Gospel, Captain Ghost, Feisty Joe, Frank Eats the Floor, Courtney Chambers, Michael Keith, Versastyle, Wildebeest, David Saba, who am I forgetting? I don't want anybody to get mad at me. I'm forgetting somebody. Go to www.concertforautism.com. See the lineup. If you want to donate, let's say you can't be here for the show, but you want to donate, there's a donate button. Helps kids with autism. Anything else?
Instagram
at Concert for Autism. Facebook.com/Concert for Autism Coachella Valley. Look us up. Please support the benefit. We appreciate everybody. I appreciate you guys here at High Desert. Thank you so much. Support all the bands. The Hellions.
Oh, yeah.
I got real quick. Jamie and Angel. The Hellions are the only band that have played the benefit every year. They'll be playing on Saturday night right before John Garcia. Wow, I'm out of breath.
Good job.
Thank you.
Right on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. The best of luck.
Thank you so much. Hopefully you guys will be here interviewing bands.
Well, if we want to cover it, I think we should come, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
I think so. High Desert.
Let's do it.
All right. Good night. Thank you, guys.